in football a long time. Fans love this time of year before the first game, all excitement, optimism. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, we're excited. I think there's a lot of work's gone on, obviously, before, seems a lifetime ago since the last league game, and coming back pre-season, and the boys worked hard, worked fantastically well, really, and they're ready, as ready as you'll ever be for the start of the season. It's new, it's exciting, it's fresh, and so yeah, we just want to get started now.
Johnny Howson was saying there's a slightly different feel this season, less uncertainty with players going, obviously not so many injuries as last season. How do you feel about this term?
Yeah, similar. I think this point last season we were excited. We were looking forward to it. We had a little bit of change in terms of players and personnel, and there was a freshness. I think there's a stability and a consistency within the group now, and added to it a little bit, and feel like we've strengthened it in a good way. So the boys kind of know what to expect, know from each other. Have learnt a little bit and understand each other a little bit better, and I'm sure that'll help us.
Just looked at the bookies before I came. Your third favourite to go up. You're one of the favourites this year. How do you feel about that, being recognised as?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter. I think it's the confidence and the belief that we've got in ourselves and through our supporters, really. That's important. Within that, we must be doing something right, or we must be showing some good signs for people to believe in that. But really, it's irrelevant in terms of, for me, messages to the players, how they approach the game. I think it's hopefully the way we finish the season and the way we've built over time gives the boys confidence, and I think they'll feel that, knowing what it takes to win games, going on a run of winning games, and dealing with setbacks. At some point they'll come, and we've gone through all that together, so hopefully that'll help us.
You've been linked with a couple of players, as you are probably every August, but how likely is that, having some new arrivals before the game?
We'll see. Largely out of my hands in some ways, so I'm really focused on the game and preparing the boys. The boys are in good shape. Listen, if something happens, it's the right thing, and we can improve the squad, and we feel we can make it stronger, then of course we'll act on it, and we're trying to act on it. But right now, I'm really looking forward to the game come Saturday.
You are trying to bring a few players in.
Every club's trying to bring players in. That doesn't change. It's got to be the right players, got to be the right personalities. It's got to be right for the group. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm really happy with the group we've got. I said it for a number of weeks now. I think the way we've strengthened, and we've been together for quite some time, and we feel like we've grown together, and we're better now. So I'm happy with the way things are, and if we can improve on that, even better.
Are you happy with how pre-season sort of panned out? Are you happy that you got enough time with the players? You managed to take them away. You had that space. You're not obviously worried about the results of the games, but are you happy with how it's gone?
Yeah, largely I think. Yeah, when we set out and planned it, and getting the boys back slightly earlier, not much earlier, but slightly earlier than before to break up. It was quite a long break, really, between 14 weeks between last game and the first day, so it's a long time, but the boys got good rest, kind of digested last season what it looked like, and come back really strong. So it feels like we've had a lot of preparation time and good games and good training. So yeah, as I've just said, to repeat myself really, I think we're ready now, and the season comes at a good time, and let's see what's next.
There's always that sort of tantalising possibility about the start of the season for everyone. Do people inside football feel that like fans do?
I think every season there's genuine excitement. There's a freshness. It's new. It's the unknown, of pre-season, the games or that. But till you really get into it, and the results come in the first game, the first few weeks, and you feel that momentum and what you've got to deal with in front of you, ups and downs, then you can't beat that feeling.
I'd tell you point about the bookmakers' odds. You don't make the bookmakers' odds, but you were a very confident team towards the end of last season, well, a lot of last season, certainly towards the end. And are you comfortable with people looking at you and thinking they might do something this year?
Comfortable is a dangerous thing to be, in sport. I don't think we ever want to be comfortable. I think we want to be pushing for more all the time, and striving to be better. And it's one thing that we always talk about is comfortable can be quite dangerous at times. Listen, we know what we've got as a group. We know, what we're trying to achieve, and we're trying to get success, trying to win games. I feel like we've got a good team, and as I said, we'll have some ups and we'll have some downs. We will go through that, but certainly we'll keep pushing. The boys train like every day, and they want to get better and better. So an unbelievable group from that side of things, and as the season goes, hopefully we'll get even stronger.
There seems to be an awful lot of enthusiasm amongst the fan base going into this season. Therefore, having the first game at home is possibly a good thing.
Yeah, it's fantastic to play at home, to be back, and I think it's to have that energy in the stadium. It's up to us as a team to produce that and help create that. But certainly the supporters have got a big role to play for us, for the boys on that pitch to feel that energy, feel that support, feel that buzz, and that emotion which football brings. And again, start of the season, it's really great that everyone's positive and we're feeling that within the group. Of course, you just want to get it started, but it'd be fantastic to get a good start at home if we can pull that off.
Clearly everyone wants to get a good start, clearly you want to win the game, but it is a long season. At this stage, it in some respects is sort of seeing the plans put into action and seeing people doing what you're asking them to do, and the performance. Is that in some ways just as important in the first few weeks?
Certainly you want to be seeing good signs, you want to be seeing certain things that we've talked about or that we've worked on. Not expecting it to be perfect, trying to, intentions is everything, trying to do the right thing and improve as you go on, to be honest. And but of course it's very different to playing the games we've just played, and we're talking about certain things in the game. It comes down to results, and you're trying to win the game as well, so there's a balance to be had. But certainly the intention of the players and being positive and doing the right things and trying to do the right things is important for us.
Thank you. Are you able to say anything specifics on Micah Hamilton, who obviously there's been an awful lot of talk about potential medicals and things like that?
What do you think? Probably not yet.
No, not yet.
Well, not yet. Not in terms of any player. Not yet. Until and that's not an individual one on the player you've mentioned. It's more of any player really. Until they're our player, really. I think it's not the right thing to do. So.
Just kind of some of the lads who have not played so much in pre-season, just to get a handle on where they're at. So Dale first. I mean, is he in and around to be in the squad at the weekend, or is he not quite there, do you think?
Dale's been training with us. I think he picked up a couple of niggles, just I think purely the fact that he's been out quite a long time, and it can be quite common when you've been out for such a long time and you get back into full training that you kind of there's adjustment of the body really. So we've got to be careful with Dale. We've got to be smart. It's a long season. Dara's similar in some ways of managing that. Two important players for the group and the squad for going through the season. But so we've got to be smart with that. Whether they're both involved Saturday or not, we'll have to wait and see. But we're looking to manage them, so not getting too carried away too quickly.
And then two that we know that are further away, but Marcus and Tommy. I mean, are we talking kind of pre-international break for them, post? Are we talking months?
No, it'll be after the first international break. How soon after that? Well, I don't want to put too much onto the boys, but they're both in and around on the grass, which is great. Being out for different periods of time, so there's a lot kind of to take into consideration, to be honest. But certainly it'll be after the first international break. Yeah.
And probably the player who's made the biggest strides in pre-season is George McCormack, only for the fact that he'd not really been in and around the first team group prior to it. I mean, is he now in your mind a first team player here who is challenging for a place in the squad, in the team, just like anybody else?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic to see George doing so well and coming into the group and taking an opportunity. And listen, whatever happens next or wherever it goes, I think he's given himself a great opportunity, and it's fantastic when you see a young player come up and grasp it, and he's a fantastic character, unbelievable attitude, and you want players like that to do well, and so credit to him for that. But yeah, certainly he's with us. He'll be involved in the game Saturday, and then like any other player, he kind of evolves and have the ups and downs. But certainly at the moment, you couldn't ask any more of him.
And I know you were saying there that there was excitement at this stage last season, and there was, but I think there was also more of a sense of uncertainty at this stage. Like, Emmanuel hadn't been signed yet, Lucas hadn't been signed yet, Alex hadn't. It felt like there was a lot that still needed doing probably at this stage last summer. it doesn't feel so much like this now. And obviously, we all know that the first month of last season didn't go the way that everybody hoped. I mean, do you feel? Listen, football's football, anything could happen, but it feels like you're in a better place to hit the ground running this time round.
Yeah, I mean, we're stable, as I said. We've largely been together for quite some time now as a group, and a couple of the boys coming in January, you know what it kind of feels like, so they're a step ahead, a little bit further down the line, and obviously new additions, which is fantastic. So we feel we're in a good place, without getting carried away, and think we've got everything right. But we're certainly excited and we're positive about the season. And the boys knowing each other and feeling for each other and understanding what works with each other, I think is really important. And I've said that at different points. Sometimes that takes a bit of time to create. So largely positive. At this moment, I couldn't really ask for much more.
And in fairness to the club, that hasn't really happened by accident, has it? It's been a longer term plan to reduce the number of loan players, potentially have loan players with a view to signing, so there's at least a chance you can get them if they do well. Reduce the age of the squad, so there's not this constant churn, and that all leads to this sense of stability, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And it's we said it for some time. We've obviously had a plan of a way that we try to develop the group in general and the club moving forward, and the type of player that we're looking for, and the balance of the group, and like you say, the loans at certain points, and loans are fine at certain ways as well. So I'm not knocking the loan market, but in credit to Steve, Kieran, Neil, in terms of above me and helping and backing that and believing in it and working together to kind of have that stability really over time. And of course it's what happens on the pitch at the end of the day, and we all know that's fine. But at the moment we feel that we're in a decent place. We're not chasing too much. We're not desperate for much. We're quite feel like we've got a good balanced group, which is really good at this stage. And if we can get something on top of that, that'll really kind of make a little bit of a difference. Then fantastic.
Good stuff.
Just one more on the injury front, Michael. Rav and Johnny came off at the weekend. How are they? Yeah,
Rav's okay. Johnny, we're waiting to see a little bit. He got his foot trodden on and it was a bit of a twist, so we'll make a call on Johnny, but yeah, Rav's fine.
Yeah, we've obviously spoken a lot there about the kind of stability and continuation in the squad, and the two new faces who have joined so far this summer, you managed to get them in nice and early, which allowed them to have the full pre-season. Does that leave you kind of optimistic about the impact that it can have going into the new season? Yeah,
I think so. It feels like Aidan and Della have been here quite a long time, to be honest, and as I said, we've gone through quite a bit in pre-season and a number of games and training sessions obviously, and it feels like both of them have settled really well, and I'm sure I'll have an influence as the season goes, and again a little bit of patience and understanding of it's new, but certainly largely at the moment they're in a good place and really excited about the season again.
Yeah, with Aidan, obviously a relatively young player coming from a completely different continent, is that kind of sense of patience even more so with him?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's that anyway of coming into the environment and the squad and learning how we do things a little bit. As I've said it to many times about, sometimes it takes a few weeks or a few games for boys to settle. Sometimes it can be quite quick, but certainly with Aidan being a little bit younger and quite a big change, football's football, once you get on the pitch to a point, but there's still that learning and understanding of things, and you pick it up quite quickly, which he has already, and Della very much the same.
Yeah, obviously Delano, he knows the league from last season, and so far in pre-season he looks a player who can influence things and do maybe that air of unpredictability in the final third of the pitch. Yeah,
and I think that's the beauty of the forward players that we're trying to create, the group that will balance off each other and create different things, have different kind of strengths, but can play together and not affect the team when whoever plays so much, but certainly bring different things. And it's pretty clear what Della's can bring, has brought already in the games, but certainly so much more to come from him in such a positive way that we feel we can help him with that, and he's desperate to do well as well, so we're really excited by it.
Yeah, obviously Swansea first up, they're a side who obviously kind of for a long time now wanted to play the kind of similar possession-based football that you do yourself, but interestingly a couple of times over the summer you've mentioned that seems to be a kind of trend throughout the Championship now.
Yeah, it seems to be. I think there's cycles at times over a period of seasons really where football in general, or football in a certain country or in a certain league, kind of takes a certain direction, and I think it's changed an awful lot since I've been at the club, and it's different, you know. It brings up different challenges, and Swansea been doing that in a way. I'm not saying that's the only style, or there's different ways of playing football, but it just seems to be an awful lot of teams at the moment are playing a similar way but different, you know. But yeah, really impressed with Swansea from what I've seen in terms of the things that they're trying to do when we played against them at home, and so we know it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, and with that in mind, not just Swansea, but you know that kind of direction that the whole league's going in. But does it change anything about, you know, what you do, what your team do, or is it more just about how you try and kind of impress your style in each game?
I think you've got to get a balance. I think you've got to respect who you're up against, for sure. I don't think we can turn up the same for every game and just expect that. We can just keep doing the same thing. I think tactically the game is in a place now where you've got to be able to adapt, you've got to be able to adjust at times, and it certainly have to, as I said, you've got to respect the opposition and what they can do. So yeah, we'll tweak things as from week to week, game to game, but yeah, we've got our kind of way and our principles that we'll stick to, but certainly respect who we're up against.